Welcome to Aska, a new Viking survival crafting game that I've had my eye on for a while now. And those of you who've been with the channel for a bit know that I love survival crafting games, and the devs were kind enough to give me a key to try this game out, so I've been playing it on and off for about the past month. Put a few hours into the game, just kind of testing it out, seeing if it was something that maybe I could do an episode for or more for the channel. And I've really enjoyed it, and it has a really cool AI villager system, as well as some beautiful graphics. The game was done in Unity rather than Unreal Engine 5, so it definitely has a little bit of performance issues, at least right now, but it is only early access. But with that said, if y'all enjoy the game, we'll see what kind of response I get on this video, but I would consider continuing a series in this game, mainly live streams, I think. This would be a fun one to do some live streams on. But with that said, I want to kick it off with a fun episode here, just to check the game out, since it was something that I've been curious about. So we're going to start with single player, and it looks like we can also do some character settings and other things. We've obviously got our normal settings here, quality presets, all that good stuff here. So even with the 4090 graphics card currently, I have my quality preset on medium. And I found that doing the resolution in 4K was honestly the best performance rather than trying to scale it down. So some interesting, weird performance with this game. I just haven't found it to be quite the best yet. But I think they will definitely tweak some stuff, and that said, it still runs quite nicely, and I think it still looks very good on these settings. So let's start by customizing our character a little bit. We have two different options, Ragnar and Aska. And I'm going to do Ragnar. This is like the male version, I guess. And we've got face and hair. Lots of different customizations there. Ooh, I kind of like that beard style. Got all sorts of different hairstyles here. This one was kind of cool. And hair color. Ooh, that's neat. I also like the black with the gray. This is kind of cool. Maybe we'll go with the brown color. Eye color. Maybe do a bright blue. This is very interesting. We have lots of options here, which is pretty cool. A lot of these early access games kind of add more character options as time goes on, but these give us a good starting point. Got our tattoo colors. This is cool. I kind of like them where they're at sort of this dark blue. And it's interesting. You'll notice here the home screen is actually turning from daytime to nighttime as I've been talking here, which is interesting. That's kind of a unique touch on things. Got our skin color. Let's go ahead and save that and start a single player world here. So we're just going to hit new game. I'm going to name this, well, let's see, Longship for the world. I don't know, I didn't get to the point of there being boats in this game. I'm assuming there are because there is water and everything and an image of a boat here. But I did not get to the point in my little bit of playing it to get a boat just yet, so we'll see. And then it is procedural generated, so you can pick whatever seed you want and generate all sorts of random seeds, which makes it pretty fun and lots of replayability and everything. And it looks like we can do our customizations here, character-wise. We can probably name our character as well once we get in the game and have it officially, but let's just go ahead and click start and see what happens.
In the days before, the gods gave us the spark of ambition, which lit the fires of creation. They gave us a world of our own, a home. They made us builders, warriors, legends. They gave us everything. But our hubris overcame us. We thought ourselves to be gods instead. We tore apart their memory. And so we were punished. Everyone, everything cast into the fire. Yet some of us were spared. To start again.
I feel my strength increasing. All right. Ah, and there's a big monster-looking thing. So basically, the moral of the story, we land here on a shipwreck. And this monster, you know, the sea god, was trying to chase us down. And we made it to land. Our ship was wrecked. And now we have to go exploring, do all of the classic survival things. And this game definitely had some bugs and things about a month ago when I was first kind of trying it out, but they have been very on top of fixing things. And I've been enjoying chatting with the dev team and everything on this game. It's been an enjoyable experience. I think it's got a lot of potential, and right off the bat, I appreciate the sounds, the music, and very much appreciate the graphics and everything like that, which is definitely a big piece of deciding factor for the types of games that I really enjoy for this channel. I really like them to be beautiful and peaceful, cozy, relaxing, that kind of a thing. So it looks like we have a hunger bar, health bar, water bar. We've got our temperature bar as well to make sure it's not too cold. So this definitely throws you into a more difficult survival scenario than something like Valheim or Enshrouded, two of the previous games that I do a lot of on this channel, which I still plan to do a lot of. So don't worry, more Enshrouded episodes are definitely coming. But it'll be fun. Check out this game a little bit. And like I said, let me know in the comments if this is something you enjoy based on this episode, and we can start a little live stream series too. Just relax and chat and have fun in this game. I don't know what these things are officially called. It's a flying tumbleweed in my eyes that looks... Yep, it does lots of damage to you. Let's see. Let's try to take them out. So right now we can just attack. We also have heavy attack. We have blocking. We have emotes. Rolling, jumping, and so far the game is very slow paced, which can be a good thing. It's very relaxing and fun for those who enjoy that type of style, but overall it doesn't feel slow to the point of something that I would really hate playing. Some games are just like the playability, the fluidity, the fighting, everything is just way too slow and doesn't run smoothly at all, and at least this I feel very engaged with the game. I think the controls are very smooth and well done so far. So we have the Wisdom Wisp here, where we can view hints and everything. So let's see what this says. Press Z to find resources near you. So this is really cool. Check this out. We can press Z on the keyboard and it does a quick little scan, and any resource will be like outlined in orange. So if I keep walking around and pressing Z on the keyboard, you can see over here, we have a little rock here, small stone that just got outlined in orange for us. As we press Z, if I press it again, you can see here, this is a harvestable resource. So that's a really easy way to find everything that you need amidst all of the wildlife and trees and everything else, all the tall grasses, especially if you have your graphics a little higher. And like I said, my graphics are not the highest settings. This is just a mediocre medium setting, and it still looks great. So we've got a lot of those tumbleweed thingies chasing us. And I know I'm probably butchering the words or the official names for these things, but that's what we'll call them for now. To be honest, I really like this little starting location as a place to sort of set up camp. I think when we die in this game, there's actually a lot of interesting things related to the death mechanics in this game that we'll get to later on. But if we die, we can respawn right back at this boat, because this is essentially the world spawn as of now. But there's some interesting things, like sacrificing villagers instead of yourself when you die, and all sorts of interesting mechanics here. So, no longer feel well hydrated. We have a little water bottle in our hotbar slot there. We can press tab here to go into sort of our inventory and everything else. And I think we have controls. Yeah, so the I is directly related for inventory. So right now we have Jotun blood, which is what we picked up in those crates on the ship. We have fibers, small stone, and water pouch. And this water pouch, I was confused when I first started playing the game because I kept trying to get water from the lake here, or the ocean. And I can't drink any of this water. And when my water pouch was empty, you can see if I press 1, it starts to empty. And I couldn't figure out how to fill it back up again. But there are actually little rocks and little collection points throughout the forest that you can collect water from. So if I walk around for a little bit, let's see, we're going to have to take out some of these guys. If I walk around for a little bit, I might be able to find one of those rocks where we can find some water and collect it from. So we get sticks and fibers. We'll be using lots of these in the future to be crafting our primitive tools and everything. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Natural water collector. So there you go. We can hold to drink it, or hold R to gather the water, which will refill our water pouch, which is nice. So I'm going to gather some of these berries so I can have food. Food and water are definitely important in this game. And a bit ago, before they made some of the tweaks, these were very, very grindy to get, and they still are, but they have made many quality of life improvements so far that make this much more enjoyable, just way, way better. It used to take like 4 times as long for that circle to go around for you to actually gather stuff, and it was getting to the point of like, it was just boring and very, very slow. At least I'm very happy that they've been listening to community and kind of tweaking some of those things. But first impressions, I'm definitely enjoying it so far. So I think the first thing is we just have to kind of level up some of our skills. You can see we've got a skill for everything, gathering, all of that stuff. And then we can start making some primitive tools and such. This forest is very nice. I like this clearing and all. I think I might want to be fairly close to the ocean too, just in case. So this little flat area down here, I really like that. So does our wisp have anything else to say, or does it just say the same thing? Press B to open the build menu and build a simple fire. There we go. So let's go ahead and do that. You can see here we have our materials. We can make our rope, stone blade, and make multiples of them, which is nice. And then we have our tools. We've got a hoe, axe, all that good stuff. And these are still locked, but this is all of our like structures and other things. So it's not necessarily like Valheim or Enshrouded, where you can completely build each piece of the build. It's more like you have these pre-built structures that you get to choose and place throughout the world and level the terrain and everything. And I asked the devs why this was the case, rather than being able to like hand build each structure. And they mainly said if you wanted to play with your friends and things, it makes the whole theme very consistent throughout the village, as well as each of these structures is designed and optimized to work with the AI system of the villagers. And so being able to place all of these, the villagers, that'll ensure they won't get confused or anything based on what type of structures you build. And it's up to you to lay out the village in the most optimal way. So I guess the best thing I can really compare it to anything I've ever played is like Clash of Clans or something, but in this more three-dimensional space where you're walking around, third-person RPG survival game, but you get to pick the layout of your village, and you get to pick how your villagers work and their schedules and like everything. It's pretty involved. It's actually kind of fun. So we've got our simple fire here. We can open the fire menu with T, which is cool here. And because we have this, we can also build around the fire. So our fire now sort of becomes this this little center point. You can see it shows up on the map there as well. Simple fire. And then there's the shipwreck. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm not going to light it yet because I don't need to be warm just yet. I'd rather save the fuel and not do that. I think the next big thing I'm going to make is an axe. So let's see, stone axe there. We need a stone blade, a stick, and a rope. And I think I had a couple small stones, so let's go ahead and craft a stone blade. I can craft a rope because we have some fiber. And the only thing there, learning the ropes, that's a good one. All right. Only thing there is a stick now, so maybe I could find a baby tree. There's a dwarf spruce. Maybe that'll give us, yep, there we go. Gathered some sticks. Let's go ahead and try that. We can get them from the dwarf spruce. We also got them from those little tumbleweed monster things that tried to come after us earlier. So let's go ahead and hit build, go to tools, grab myself a stone axe so that we can start harvesting some of these trees here. So now you can see we can harvest this one. Some of these bigger ones though, we need a better equipment to harvest. So we can only go after the small ones so far. Well, let's just go ahead and get this. This will give us a lot of logs and sticks and fiber and bark and all sorts of things. Like I said, it's quite the survival game from those standpoints. So it takes a little longer to harvest trees and everything. Still has the nice mechanic where trees will fall down. Then you have to harvest the log. You can even harvest bark into fiber to then make rope. All sorts of cool things like that. So I think the exploration and village building aspect of this game is what's going to sort of set it apart and make it really interesting, along with something like Valheim, which definitely has more of that just open world freeform way about it, which I actually really like, and I haven't played many games like this yet, but so far this one seems cool, and I'm willing to give it a try. So alright, so we've got some bark, some other things like that, and let's see if our Wisp has anything else to say. So this is kind of the version of Hugin, but for this game. Let's see, press T looking at Simplifier, and enter the structure menu from the, okay, cool. Yeah. So a campfire can be refueled. Ah, okay, so we do have to do a campfire. We don't want to use this simple little fire. The campfire is kind of what's more the center of the village that's nice. So we can add the fuel to the simple fire, but that's what it's saying to press T. And we can open the structure menu there and upgrade things. So we have to build this campfire first. This is the first like structure that we've unlocked. Let's go ahead and build it. That just builds it right around this simple fire, basically just turning it into a bigger campfire. So let's go ahead and hit R to supply. We need a bunch more stones and some sticks. It's already becoming nighttime, you can see here, but again, just quite nice graphics. Very peaceful. If you're not too far inland and you stay out by the ocean here, there's not much that can get you. At least not right now. They do have like raids and other things in this game, but the first couple days will be pretty peaceful if we just kind of stay close to the shore. Let's go ahead and gather some flax there. We can gather some fibers. Ah, there we go. Another water source. Let's go ahead and just collect that so that we have it for later when we need it. And those do refill, by the way. We just have to wait for it to rain, and they will refill with water, so you can remember where they were, and we can make our own water sources and everything not too long from now. We'll see how far we get in this little episode today. And like I said, if this is at all of interest, just comment below, share it with your friends and everything, and let me know, and I'd be happy to do a fun live stream series, because this is the type of game that's just so much fun to do. It's very chill. It's fun to be able to talk to people and sort of do a fun little live stream series of it, rather than a bunch of small little episodes, just because there is a lot to do in this game, and I think it's a fun game for that. Let's go ahead and chop down that tree. Getting thirsty again, so just hit my water pouch. And again, if we go into our inventory here, we can drag our stuff around. So we have like medium items, which is bark, you know, our logs, like our bigger things. I think the large items is the logs. That's like what we can carry with only like one hand and stuff. And then we've got all of our small items, all the things we forage for and stuff like that. So yeah, bigger rocks, stones, stuff like that. So it's very interesting. Lots of different clothing pieces, armor, and all that sorts of stuff. So it's like, it's chill and relaxed, but also actually pretty, you know, up there with the advanced survival games from that aspect, which is a lot of fun. So there we go. We can grab our sticks, resin. This will all be good. And yeah, you can see here, these are the bigger logs, so we can carry one of these at a time. And I think to drop it, we can just hit, can't remember if it was Y or T. Is E. Okay, so we can hit E to drop them, same one to pick them up. And those will be used in the creation of larger structures later on, which is nice. Let's go ahead and gather the rest of these sticks. We can also hold R to harvest the log, which is nice. And harvesting the full log will then give us, as you guessed it, more sticks. We also get firewood, yeah, more bark. All of the basics, which is what we need right now. As we start creating structures, the logs will come in handy. But let me go back to my campfire and keep supplying materials to it. And now we need lots of stone. So what I'm going to do there is craft a pickaxe. Stone pickaxe. We have the sticks. We need 2 stone blades and 1 rope. So let me go ahead and craft another rope because we have lots of fibers here. Stone blades, I don't have any, but it's going to be more effective to try to craft that pickaxe than it is to use, you know, tiny little pieces of stone that we find along the beach to try to craft our fire. It's kind of going to be a waste of time, so I'd rather just find the stones to make the pickaxe to then gather the bigger stones, because that'll go a little faster, I think, in the long run. So we got another one of those guys. I can grab my axe. Here we go, and it'll do a lot more damage. There you go. We just pretty much one-shot it, so pretty easy once you have an axe, and doesn't do much damage to you. And I also like the nighttime here. Might be a little dark for some of you, but as far as games go, I appreciate that it's still light enough to kind of find your way around a little bit, and at least be able to see somewhat without having a torch. And of course you can make a torch and use that as well. Another thing I like too about this game is it does have a full weather system, and I think even seasons, winter, summer, things like that, which is, again, something that just adds some life into these games. That's something I think I'm really excited for games like Enshrouded to start bringing to their game, because I think a weather system in and of itself is just such a nice piece when building things in the games and such, to feel cozy in a house or a village, or have to prepare for winter, things like that. I think that's one of the key pieces of a good survival game. So yeah, now that we can see that fire on the map, I'm not worried about venturing a little farther. This is where we can harvest the Jotun blood as well. Again, we need a pickaxe for that, but I think with that, that's how we sort of create more of the magical elements, like our summoning point to bring in our first villagers to help out. They can build, they can harvest resources, they can do anything for you, really. And you can assign them to all sorts of things. It's pretty crazy. So let me keep gathering some basic things. We need to find rocks, and it's nighttime, a little harder to find things, so let's just keep pressing Z again. And we can see a little rock here. Light up orange. Easy peasy. Let's see. Oh, all the sticks that I missed, so I didn't find those originally when I chopped down the tree, but you can see every single one of them now, which makes it really nice. I really love this feature. Really, it makes it so you can have some nice foliage showing, but not necessarily have to, you know, turn off all your grass and stuff just to find resources, which is the case in a lot of games. Alright, and there's already a bunch of rocks around here. Let's go ahead with that. That should be enough to craft our pickaxe. Cannot craft it. We need the stone blade. There's the stone blade. We can go ahead and make one of those. And 2 of them. We have exactly enough for 2. Alright, here we go. Let's go ahead and make one of these. And there we go. Stonebreaker achievement. Let's go ahead and pull it out. And again, any one of these stones. I think even this one. Actually, not this one. We can have... anything here that shows up as orange, so like one of these rocks. I think those are like kind of more default terrain in some places, but this one here, we can either just click it and manually pickaxe, or we can just hold R to harvest it, as long as we have the stamina here. You can see it has a certain health, and that health is like, you know, how much it takes to destroy the full rock. But you can see that we're already destroying pieces of it. So we have small stones, which are what we need for that fire, and we have a large stone, which again is one of those large items that we can hold, you know, with both hands and bring one at a time, kind of a thing. And we can also process that larger stone into smaller stones, which is what I'm going to do here, because I don't need large stones right now, and it's going to have a much lower health. So I think we can just go ahead and pickaxe the rest of that. And there we go. Now we have lots of little stones. Somewhere in here. Let's press C. There they are. Okay. So again, whenever you get confused at where something might be, just press Z. And we can also use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out of our character, which again is very seamless, very well done. It feels like the character is nicely integrated with the landscape and things. Doesn't feel like we're floating around too much. That's another thing I like with survival games. Some of them just feel very, I don't know, not very well done when it comes to the interaction. So at least that's something that I do appreciate so far. Alright, so let's just keep gathering these small stones. That should be enough. We can always come back to that rock again later. And let's go back to our fire here, and that should be enough to completely finish the fire. Let's go ahead and supply some resources, and there we go. So we unlocked some new recipes and things. We did the warm welcome achievement. This is cool. So now we can open the campfire menu, and we can see we have fire cover, which is really cool. Protects your fire from the elements. We also have a cooking station add-on, so we've unlocked more recipes by building that fire. I think a fire cover is going to be pretty essential for something like this. So again, we click it and it goes over this fire. It automatically kind of knows where that fire is. And then with every individual structure and everything, you can place them, rotate them, orient them, level the ground to place them as you wish, and completely design your village from scratch and redo your village. I mean, it's pretty cool. So it's not quite the freedom that Enshrouded or Valheim has by any means, but it's still pretty nice, and the adventure aspect, I think, of this game is really cool, and I really can't wait to kind of dive deeper into it. So we need lots of rope here. Go ahead and make a bunch of rope. Let's just craft 5 at a time, since I need a few of them for this. Go ahead and do that, and what else? Ah, we need a hammer to actually build it. So it's green now because we have the resources, but because it's now structure, I'm going to go ahead and craft a wooden hammer here. And there we go. We can hold E and go ahead and build this. And villagers, like, they'll help you build this stuff as well. So we'll see if I could, like, make a little villager summoning place. And there we go. Day survived 1, so it's morning time now, which is nice. And we have now a nice little covered fire for if we ever get cold or for when winter comes, things like that. Again, I haven't spent a lot of time in this game. I think I only have like 5 or 6 hours in it so far, and just a little test world, just to see if it was something I would enjoy. But I'm actually looking forward to some of the adventure and things. So with that, I think going to go into my building. We also have exterior lights that we've gone ahead and unlocked, flimsy torch, and some weapons here, which is really nice, that are apart from like the tools. So you can use your axe as a weapon, but I think some of this stuff would obviously be better, and pretty crude stuff as well. With that said, I think we may need to unlock some more things or build some more. Let's see what the Wisp has to say. And they've upgraded this. This Wisp also, it didn't used to be as helpful as it is now, and this is much nicer. It used to kept just repeating the same message, but this is a little better. Let's see here. Build menu and build a simple shelter. All right. So let's see. B to open the build menu. Bushcraft. And there we go, a shelter and a rain collector. Look at that. Let's go ahead and build a shelter. You can get a sense of how this is going to be placed now. So I'm going to go to where my fire was, which was right over here. And you can rotate it. It's not even, I don't even think it's like on a grid. You can literally just like, you know, spin it very smoothly. So you could get like super fine rotations, and that's kind of a nice thing too. So you could really customize it. I think I'm just gonna put this shelter, I don't know, I'm not gonna focus too much on the layout of this first village. I think I'll take a lot of, you know, if you guys like this video and want to have a little live stream series, I'll take a lot of the mistakes I've learned from building this first village and then use them for a better village later on, because I feel like I'm never gonna get it right on the first try with a new game. So we need a hoe there to level the ground. So let me go ahead into tools and wooden hoe. 2 stone blades and 4 sticks. I think I have the stuff for stone blades. Well, I have the stuff for 1 stone blade. And because we have a pickaxe, again, that's why it's just worth crafting these tools, just so we can make harvesting faster than gathering the materials individually. And just go out to another stone that can be harvested. Here's one right here. And just go ahead and start doing it. All right. And I am very hungry and very thirsty. So with that, let me go ahead and eat a berry here. I can just spam my berry key. These are the blueberries that we collected from earlier. These will also hydrate you a little bit, which is nice, because the blueberries have a, more moisture than other foods. So they really have thought of everything, which is cool. Let's keep harvesting this till we get some stones. And we've got a large stone here. Just go ahead and harvest the rest of that. So you can see it definitely takes longer. It's more grindy than other things where you just kind of shatter the whole rock all at once. Which, yeah, it's just different. Not necessarily a bad thing, but different than some of the other games I've done on this channel for sure. And there we go, another little rock. A couple of rocks that we missed. And I see a little pebble over here, a little one over here. That should be pretty good to get us started. Again, we needed the stone blades. And we just needed... There's 2 of them. Big thing we needed was the hoe there. So I have 2 stone blades. Now I need some sticks. So let me go where, let's see, I thought I had cut down some trees in this area that I didn't process all the logs from. Either way, I'll just go ahead and get this one here. We can go ahead and grab the log from that. Perfect. All right. I'll go ahead and process the long stick into shorter sticks. Early on in the game, again, till you get more of the structures going. Like for this shelter, we're going to need some of the long logs. But until then, you also saw there I took a health damage point. You actually get splinters sometimes from collecting the wood. So every now and then you'll get a little health point taken off from getting a splinter. So we've got enough stuff now that we should be able to craft a wooden hoe. Cannot craft this item. We do need more sticks. Okay. I didn't realize we hadn't collected a bunch yet. Oh, they're still all laying on the ground here. That's why. So again, that scanning for resources tool is just super, super helpful in a game like this. You can see all this stuff like I wouldn't have really seen. Would have drove me nuts to try to look for that, and there's all this tall foliage. Well, there we go. Yeah, I can make a wooden hoe. And let's go ahead and level this. And again, this is kind of just hand-holding you. But for example, I can whack my hoe, anywhere on the ground that I want within the, like I can keep whacking it within the shelter area, depending on like what I want. But right now it's just saying that we need these 4 squares, which will, mostly level the ground. And we need logs. So those are the big logs there, which I had, a couple of up here. Go ahead and grab these sticks again, the bark. And there's one of the long sticks. We can go ahead and just bring that back right to our shelter here. And we need 1 more of those. This is why it's good too. This is why I'm thinking that this might be a good spot for a starter village. Mainly because of the fact that we have so many little resources around here. Lots of little trees, lots of little rocks. So I'm just picking a location that has some natural resources. Just because it might take a bit to kind of carry all this stuff over. Alright, there we go. Go ahead and collect all the resin. Well, we ended up picking that up, so let's bring that over. Supply that and hold E to build with our hammer. So this is kind of how the structure system works. It's very blueprint based, things like that. So the building in this game, definitely nowhere near something like Enshrouded or Valheim. But they do this because they want it to work with their whole AI NPC system. So we'll honestly just have to see. as we go along, you know, whether or not that's really worth it, if it's working or not. So we're getting hungry now. Yeah, we have been getting a little hungry for a while, so I might need to find some more berry bushes here soon. Let's see, there was the other long stick. Alright, and we need 2 rope, so I think I've got the stuff for another rope. Yep. And 3 out of 8 sticks there, so go ahead and just grab those here. Alright, so there's a few more. We have 4 out of 8 now, so I just need 4 more sticks. And we can also harvest the stumps there, which I think might give us some sticks as well. So there's 2 out of 4. You can see my inventory is now full because we have like all of these slots taken up. So I'm going to go ahead and do is actually just drop my bark, and then I'm going to go ahead and harvest the bark, which I think gives us fiber. Yep. Because I'm getting lots of bark, and I can always use fiber for ropes and things like that. And there we go. Now we've got firewood, and as you can see again, my inventory is getting full, which I think is kind of crazy. I do wish some of this stuff stacked. We'll see how annoying this ends up getting later on in the game. Like firewood here, we could go ahead and put that all in the fire, which would be good when we get back. Just go ahead and grab the rest of these sticks here. And the point is, this is going to feel grindy at first because you're doing everything. Right, like, I definitely will emphasize the fact that this game is based around this village concept with AI, NPCs, and everything. And so when you're doing everything, it's gonna feel grindy right off the bat. But the point is, soon you'll be able to have everything that I'm doing right now. This will all be able to be done for you. You can send villagers out to gather sticks. You can have them gather whatever you want. You can have them build the stuff. Everything. So this stuff ends up being less grindy, and then you get more time to go on adventures while your villagers are manning your house, your homestead, which is pretty cool. So it looks like we need another bark, and I'll just keep kind of going through these steps until we finish our shelter there. So there's the bark, and now we can just build it, and I think that's it. The shelter shouldn't be too expensive, and this will give us a place to sleep. You'll also need these for villagers to have a place to sleep. So we can go to sleep, and we slowly regain health by sleeping, even if it's not at night. You can't actually just skip the night in this game, but you can slowly regain health and you know, stamina, like be rested essentially, which is pretty important. So yeah, no longer rested, no longer healing, that kind of thing. Let me go ahead and drink some more of this water, and we'll have to go find some more of this too, or I'll die. Because this game is kind of brutal when it comes down to that. So we have our shelter. Let me do R to manage the house. So you can see as we get villagers, we can assign workers to this house. We can also do like upgrades and add-ons and, you know, cool stuff like that. T to open the shelter menu. And I think in here, yeah, we can just kind of see, this all gets way more prominent when you have like the villagers and everything else. So pretty much all we can do right now is just go to sleep in that shelter. Now we should go ahead and find our little wisp friend. Let's see if it's on the map anywhere. Not right now. So I think the next big thing is to go ahead and build the Eye of Odin. This is what we'll use to bring our villagers to our village. So let's just do that pretty close to the fire, I think. Kind of right here. This is a good central point. It's pretty flat. Let's go ahead and level this area. And I think this is what I'm going to do in this first episode before I wrap this video up, is get our first villager. Just so you guys have a sense of like kind of what the beginning of this game is like. Let's go ahead and bring the supplies. We need some more sticks, so I'll go through all the steps. I won't make you watch me go through all the steps here just for this video here to basically build this thing. And this Odin Eye, the big thing that it uses that I haven't used in previous structures, it uses this stuff, the Jotun blood. So when I get to that point, I will show you that. Alright, so I'm at the second stage of the build now, and now we need 2 of those big stones. That's what those are at the bottom that it's needing. So I'll go hack apart some stones, and rather than the little tiny rocks, we'll just carry 2 of the big stones over. Alright, here is the second of the 2 larger stones. Let's go ahead and build this portion. And I think after this is the part where we need the Jotun blood stuff to finish it off. Ah, there we go. That is actually completed, it looks like. Yeah, not enough fuel. This is where we need. So we can open the storage, and this is where we put the Jotun blood. So we can just switch, we can drop, we can use all sorts of stuff. So I think, yeah, just right-clicking it, simple as that. There we go. We have all of the Jotun blood in here. In our case, we just found it all from that shipwreck. And we can just hit activate. But if you don't have enough of it, that's where you can basically just go find those blue Jotun blood rocks and mine them with a pickaxe. So we can choose now between which villager we want. And it just kind of randomly selects. Each time you want to summon in a villager, you can kind of pick which one you want. And to summon in a villager, you need 5 of the Jotun blood. So we can pick 1 villager here because we just fueled it with 5 Jotun blood. We have Frode and Gundrun. Hopefully I'm pronouncing them right. And the perks, we have, looks like Rocker. I'm proficient in stone mining, but I eat more than a normal villager. Less prone to illness, like cold and sore throat. Oh, okay. So this guy's pretty hefty. Might be nice to have in the village, but he needs lots of food, so that might also be harmful to me and other villagers who also need food around the area. So what's the perks of this one? Tireless. Ooh, okay. Allowing me to recover from fatigue and working injuries more rapidly. And Thirsty Giant. I'm a person with a large health pool, but I get thirsty much faster. So we do need stone. This guy is definitely more prone to illness, which is nice. But Tireless might be really helpful, especially early on, because they could really help us get a lot of our village built, not have to sleep as much. And Thirsty is not a problem because I can create a water source that's infinite to give this villager a lot of water. So let's go ahead and select this one. And we can select this one later on, but for my first villager, I'm going to go ahead and pick that one. Let's confirm, and the time until the arrival of the next villager is 10 minutes. So that will kind of be a beacon, and they will come and find you. So let me see if the little wisp has something to say here, because it just showed up. Yep, use 5 Jotun blood to summon the first villager. Alright, cool. So there's that. I am very hungry now, so while we wait for the villager to be summoned in, I can just collect the rest of this stuff. This is all from harvesting things for building that eye and my shelter and stuff. But let's go and grab some more. You can see the water sources. They also show up when we try to scavenge for resources. I'm wanting to find a berry bush. There we go. Let's get 5 of those berries because I am very hungry. You can see they don't last long. Finding food in this game is a little tough, especially if you don't venture out really far, because you're not going to find a whole lot until we start going hunting and things, which is okay. So again, these are the Jotun blood shards. We can just harvest those with a pickaxe if we needed more Jotun blood for a second villager, for example, which we might do like in the next live stream if we continue this series. Alright, so let's see. I'm just looking for food. We've got flax. This is all going to be useful later on. Not initially, but once we start creating the farms and everything like that. We've got a fallen bird's nest there. We've got feathers. Interesting. Again, probably all for arrows and everything. Alright, so I found another berry bush here. Just go ahead and gather those and eat them all just as quickly as I'm gathering them. At least that'll be something to suffice for a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and head back to the camp now and get back with you all when the first villager decides to come in about 7 minutes. Alright, so it is now day 2 and the villager should be here in a few seconds. We'll see what happens. If they walk in, I think they just kind of summon in though, right over here. Yep, there we go. And there's the villager. Feel my strength increasing. All right. So we can open the villager menu right here. And this is pretty cool because we can see their issues right here, which they're homeless, give me a place to live. I'm a builder, but you can assign me to a proper workplace. This is important because by default, they will just help you with whatever you're currently doing, right? So if I go and chop down a tree, that villager will come and help me chop down that tree. Or if I am building, the villager will help me build. To assign it to do things on its own, we actually have to build workstations and other things for that specific task that that villager will be doing. For example, like if we had a villager doing wood, gathering wood and bark and sticks and all that stuff for us, we'd have to create like a little logging station for them to be able to store those items that they gather for us and things like that. So we can also hit T to trade with this villager, where we can take items from them. We can give them items, like if they're axe breaks and other stuff. Although if you have the workstations and stuff, like they'll try to make these items on their own. At least from what I found in my previous playing experience, it's not like you have to give them a million things. They'll try to create their own things, but if you want them to do something else, sometimes you have to give them something if it wears out. So at least I think that's the case. Maybe they've changed it. Maybe you actually have to give them certain tools or things like that. But they'll be able to replenish their water pouch on their own and all that stuff. We can adjust their work schedule with work, sleep, leisure. So based on the problems they have, the leisure allows them to, tend to their hunger, their thirst, and warm themselves by the fire. So like they might be too cold, they might get sick if we don't give them enough leisure. It's quite an advanced system, actually. I mean, maybe there's other games that are crazy more advanced than this, but based on the games I've played, this is the most advanced villager system to exist in terms of what I've played, and I think it's pretty cool. So because this one is very tireless, we might be able to just go to leisure and maybe give it a little more leisure just to attend to its needs, but it might not need much sleep because that's what we selected it for. So I'm going to go ahead and apply. We can also create presets. So if we find a preset that tends to work really well for the villager, we can create a preset. And then if we find another villager with a similar, work lifestyle, we could apply that preset onto that villager as like a good starting point. So that's pretty nice. And it has the health and everything. So that's basically that. Let's see if the wisp has anything to say here. Getting very hungry and thirsty. Let's see. All right. So yeah, we have to watch out for my health. We can do the tutorial page. God's in your favor. All right. So this is cool. If we go to the building now, you can see we've unlocked lots more structures. So we've got the rain collector, which we didn't make yet. We have magic now of all sorts of other things. The healing hut, all sorts of cool stuff here. And then basic production. Here you can see some of the basic stuff. So again, we have a cave entrance. That's probably for miners, fisherman's hut, hunter's hut, just to give you an idea of what could come in the future here. But yeah, woodcutter's pit, stone cutter's pit, and gatherer's pit. So the gathering pit will be like the berries, the fruits, the fibers, food, stuff like that you could assign a villager to actually go get and provide for the rest of the villagers and yourself. And then the other villagers will know to gather from that gathering pit based on if they're hungry. And then you can also have markers. So we could put a building resources marker, and that marker will create like a radius of where you want your villagers to gather stuff from. So you can adjust that marker depending on what resources you want them to pick up, and if you want them to pick up more resources, you can add more markers around the area, which I think has its ups and downs. There's a lot to that system there. But there's that. I think this is the same as it was there. Yeah, so a lot of this stuff is the same. Big thing here is we can go to open the shelter menu here, and we can just go assign workers. And then we can just go ahead and assign this worker. So now he or she, I guess probably she, has a house and can sleep. And now you can see the problem. If we open the villager menu here, we don't have to show this again, but if you want to read through these. So yeah, we don't have any issues right now. You can see here significantly increasing, which is good. Schedule balance, work hours are in red, which means kind of you know, might need to decrease her work hours just a little bit. Leisure hours are looking really good. Daylight devotion, optimistic outlook. So this villager's got a lot of good stuff going for it right now. But you basically want to make sure that this isn't like, you know, all the way in the red. And like these, I don't know exactly how advanced the AI system is, but like, I don't really know if there is a way to tell. You know, you really have to try. It's trial and error. It's kind of got a mind of its own of like, you might get a villager that just really has lots of problems. You might get one that's good, you know. I think it kind of depends. So yeah, these are all the tabs that we can just quickly access from there. And that's kind of how the villager thing works. Again, we haven't built one of these huts, so we can't really assign it to do anything. I think the best thing is, like for example, if I go and try to chop down a tree here, I think that villager will probably come out and follow at some point and try to chop down the tree. Or I think by default, actually, they're also assigned as just a builder. Yeah, builder, you can see under their name. So if I start building a structure, they'll help me build that structure rather than like helping me chop down a tree, for example, by default. So that's how it works. I'll just go ahead and ignite the fire. I have plenty of firewood just to show you that sort of how that process works. There we go. I'm so parched now. Oh gosh. So now I'm starting to die from thirst. Gotta eat some of that. We do have to find food. So before I entirely die, I'll tell you what happens if I die. I can either sacrifice this villager in my place, which is interesting. At least that's how it was. Or I can just die and respawn back at the boat, which is definitely what I want. I prefer that because I don't really want to sacrifice this villager. But maybe you have tons of villagers, you end up getting a bad one. And you just are like, yeah, this doesn't really help my village out. I want to sacrifice the villager instead of myself so that you don't lose your, you know, your stuff or your skills. I think you can come gather your stuff again, you know, and none of your stuff is lost. It's not like hardcore or stuff. They might have options for that, but yeah. You can see it's springtime now based on the seasons, tells the temperature. And we can also see that there's a fog that's creeping in right now, so the weather might be getting pretty rainy here soon. But with that said, overall, first impressions, I love the graphics, the peacefulness, the coziness, and kind of excited to dive in to the sort of technicalities of this game. See what the villager system's like, make some boats, crafting stations, see what it's like to prepare for winter. So yeah, if you'd like to follow me along on that journey, be sure to subscribe and comment below if you'd like to see a live stream series or more episodes. With that said, hopefully this was helpful. Maybe it was a deciding factor if you're getting the game or not. I think it's pretty much worth it. We'll see what it ends up being, what the reviews are, but so far I think it's definitely on the better side for an early access game. So with that said, be sure to subscribe. I also have a Discord server through the link in the description if you want to join that. And also a huge shout out to all of my channel members and Patreon members, so thank you for your support. Alright, with that, I will see you in the next one. Cheers.